Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. Echo Resto Dragon, I like pie. How's it going, everybody? Howdy, howdy. Hope everyone's doing all right. We've got quite the docket to go through, so whew. All right, let me make sure I got everything good. Perfect. How's everybody doing? I think we should start by clowning on Ben Shapiro. Let's do that, yeah?
They said it couldn't be done.
Because the big drug company...
Jesus. Going good so far for a Monday. That's all one could ask. It's definitely been a rough Monday today. At least for work, anyways. I'm just glad to be done. It's going. Got our washer and dryer hooked up, so no more laundromat. Well, that's a W. That's a W in my book. That's for sure. Rough one here too. It happens. It's okay. It's okay. We're just gonna sit here and dunk on Ben Shapiro to start the day off, okay? It'll be okay. All right, let's take a look at the quarter. Wait, what is this? Why is Ben Shapiro turning into the quartering? Or maybe they're just the same. Maybe the quartering is just conservative, a conservative propagandist. Maybe. All right, Ben, tell me why. Well, hold on. The thumbnail said woke garbage. Whoa. The thumbnail said woke garbage. Damn. All right. I'm pretty sure we're going to get an in-depth analysis about why the storyline of Marvel's She-Hulk is bad. And we're going to get a really good media critique taking apart why the story doesn't work or why the writing was bad in different instances. I'm pretty sure I'm ready. Let's go. Come on, Ben. Hit me up.
Speaking of institutions that are blowing out their credibility in the media, Disney continues apace. So, remember that time that they used to make comic book movies that were fun and didn't lecture you on woke garbage? Remember?
What? What are you talking about? They still do that. She-Hulk does look a bit cringe. Maybe. I don't know. I'm expecting a good critique. About the writing and about how the character development doesn't work or whatever it is. I'm ready.
Remember that? Wasn't that nice? Like you watch the old Superman movies with Christopher Reeves and you're like, oh, wow, there's not a lot of politics to this. It's basically just Superman.
Does anybody want to tell Ben? Or are we going to have to do it? The majority of comic books are political in nature. The majority of comic books have political messages in them. Since their inception. And
then you watch Batman Begins and The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. You're like, there might be some political messaging here, but it's pretty deeply buried. It mostly just seems thought-provoking.
Whoa, so, wait, does it or does it not? I had to pick one.
Well, now, the writers for the shows on Disney and in the Marvel Universe are basically just reading slate pitches and directly channeling them into the dialogue. So, this show looks just garbage. I would be honest with you.
The show looks garbage. Source? Because I said so. All right.
Since Disney.
That's your opinion, Ben. But you gotta at least tell me why it's garbage, right?
Decided to unleash the fact publicly that it was trying to indoctrinate kids in LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign queer theory. When they said that, I canceled my Disney Plus subscription.
I'm pretty sure that's not what they said, but okay.
So I've not watched a single moment of Disney Plus since then.
Wait. If you haven't watched, then how do you know? If you canceled your subscription to Disney Plus, then how are you making comments or statements like She-Hulk, woke garbage? How are you making statements like She-Hulk is complete garbage? He didn't cancel on his family's paid actors. It just looks garbage. Okay, but yeah, there's a difference between saying I think a show looks like it's gonna be bad, or I think a show looks like garbage, than is complete garbage. The implication here is that Ben actually watched it. My parents are moving and they gave it to us. Nice.
And it's one of the reasons why we here at Daily Wire have dedicated $100 million over 3 years to developing children's content, because it turns out that content for kids should basically just be content for kids. Well, now what...
I'm joking, I agree with you.
Please clap.
The notification just arrived. Good to see you. Howdy.
they've decided to do is that they're growing up. They're growing up the superhero genre. They've been doing this in the comic books for years, right? They got Ta-Nehisi Coates to write the Superman comics, which is like having Noam Chomsky write Superman back in the 1970s.
What?
They have somebody who openly talked in his memoir about smoking pot while watching 9/11 because he hated America so much.
Wait, who?
Like, have that guy write about Superman. Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Well, excellent. Now, what does this have to do with She-Hulk?
So they've done that in the comic books for a while. Right? Superman in one of the spin-off universes.
What does
now,
this have to do with She-Hulk?
now a gay youth standing up for the pride flag or some such.
What?
So they've been doing that.
No. Superman, if I understand, if I remember correctly, what happened there with Superman, was that it was a different, like, iteration. It was a different, alternate Superman. It wasn't like Clark Kent. It was another person. It was another Superman. Like, comics do this all the freaking time. Comics have multiple, paths of, universes. Why would this be any different? Omega Shenron, Shenron. I'm thinking Dragon Ball Z. Omega Shenron, Shenron, no. Shenron Dragon. Howdy. I'm going to pronounce
And
your name
now
correctly.
they're putting it into the TV shows. And
No,
so you end
not
up
really.
with just purely bad dialogue like this. Like, I'm sorry, this is bad dialogue. So this is the character of She-Hulk explaining to Bruce Banner how she is really good at controlling her anger because she's a woman. Yes, see. Here we go.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. But when I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or I might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
She's bad at it. She needs to calm down at the end there. But
That was probably part of the point of the script about how, like, insulting it is, or degrading or condescending it is when guys try to mansplain stuff, especially to people like her. It would be like the equivalent of, like, trying to mansplain a female lawyer what the law is. Yeah, that can be kind of infuriating. I don't understand what the problem is here. That is a valid critique. That is a valid critique. What are you talking about? Multiple universes is a staple of comics. True. I don't know if you're interested, but the US dollar was equal to €1 today. The euro is devaluing fast. US visitors will find Europe bargain basement. Nice. Finally. No, I'm kidding. That's not good at all. Bruce looking like Trump with the makeup not covering fully like the fake tan also doesn't. I have no idea what that even means. Like, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I mean, so now, and this has been hailed as just the most heroic thing. Well, Disney
What?
put the talking points from Jezebel right in the show. It's amazing. You have
From
accounts
Jezebel?
like a
What?
co-host of Geeks of the Week, quote, She-Hulk might genuinely be the first time some young men hear a woman speak candidly about experiences like this.
But these things happen. What? Oh, I get it. Ben just doesn't want people talking about it. That's what it is. Ben just doesn't want to hear it. That's what it is. That's what it is.
It might not seem like it, but it's hugely important. And the music rises. We need some backlit lighting. Just a hero
What?
shot. Wait, I'm sorry. Is you lecturing in the most tendentious fashion about how hard women have it in the United States?
No. She's making a critique in the story of things that happened to her. Ben should lead by example and shut the fuck up. True. Yeah, if he doesn't want to hear about it, yeah, don't listen. And like again, I thought you canceled your subscription. Why are you watching this? How are you watching this? Did you watch this, or are you just getting clips out of context, or just clips to pick on because you don't want to hear about the actual critiques of society that She-Hulk might have, because they might be valid and you don't want to hear it?
In the middle of a comic book show, is that hugely important, or is that you guys virtue signaling to a group of people who entirely agree with you? I love the way that it works in Hollywood. It really is pretty spectacular. What happens is a writer puts something like this in the script, and the producer's like, this isn't very good, but we do have to put it. It's very important. It's so important. And then the director's like, I'm gonna clap you on the back, producer and writer, because you did something so important.
Damn, I didn't know that Ben was so involved in the production of She-Hulk. Also, I love how he makes this entire rant based on a TikTok clip. Also, where's the source to the Jezebel article where the talking points are coming from? No? Thanks, Ben.
And then they all have a great big circle hug. And
What?
then
Circle what? Circle what, Ben? What? He should probably think, he just probably thinks since Santa hates Disney, so should he? Yeah, no, well, I don't know, but the problem here is the problem here isn't She-Hulk. The problem here is the legitimate critiques that do happen in the real world, that Ben does not want people talking about. That's the issue here. That's the issue here. Real life critiques on society of experiences that do happen to women all the time, and he does not want anybody talking about it. That's the issue here. That's really the issue. We're 3 minutes and 43 seconds in, and pretty much that's the only problem he's gonna have. Watch.
and then they're real happy with each other because they all agree with each other about all these things. They agree that women are so put upon in American society. Women are so victimized. They're constantly having to hold back in the face of male aggression.
That's a massive straw man. Okay? That is a massive... Holy hell. Like, honestly, I'm starting to think that the problem that we're having with the grain isn't a product of, like, the war in Ukraine. I think it's just, like, the massive, like, straw men that these people are building. They're just hogging up all the grain. That's what it is.
And it needs to be promoted to teenage boys who are watching She-Hulk.
Teenage boys? What are you talking about, Ben? Again, the point of that exchange is that she's talking about, or the show is making real life critiques that happen. That's it. Nowhere did she say the only thing that women are just constantly oppressed. That's not what she said. she described she described real life scenarios, and the show was making a critique of things that really happen, okay, and that should be addressed. Like, if you want to, like, break it down, really what she's criticizing, or what the show is criticizing, is mansplaining. That's it. That's it. You're gonna be okay, Ben, okay? You're gonna be fine.
It's super important. By the way, I'm just going to point out here at the very end where she says, you might literally be murdered if you're a woman for no other reason than you're a woman.
That's happened? What? Yes.
Like, if you ever get angry as a woman, a man might just come out of the woodwork and just stab you in the eye with
No, that's... Oh my god. That's not... That's not what the critique is about.
Shiv. That is your life. And because women, if they're ever perceived as emotional or...
Your notification just arrived. Thank you, Twitch.
angry, then people just, they come along, they kill them. It's basically like Afghanistan around here.
No.
Let me read you a statistic. Okay, here are the total number of murder victims in the United States in 2020.
That's not what the critique is about. Holy yikes.
You ready? Total number of murder victims. Altogether, 17,754. Okay, this is according to...
So I entered the channel and I get angry Ben Shapiro staring at me. Not very chill, dude. Did I read an Ellen magazine about a woman getting catcalled by both genders? What? I'm not sure what that is. Did you get my whisper today? Yes, I did. John Oliver's pretty good.
The Statista Research Department in 2020. 17,754 total murder victims.
So now we're going to irrelevant statistics about things that are nothing to do with the critique that's currently being discussed.
Female murder victims, 3,573. Male victims, 1,146. So if we're just talking about like who gets killed in the United States, like in terms of homicide victims, I'm going to note that men get killed way more often than women. Now, that's
irrelevant to the point that was being made in that exchange.
Does not mean that women aren't women aren't put upon sometimes, that women don't have difficult experiences in life that many men don't have to have.
And also, wait. Your YouTube looks weird? What's weird about it? It's just another copy of the Twitch stream. I can show you now the woman admitted she was scared about men catcalling her. The dress was very revealing, but I thought women now telling everyone to F off. I have no idea what that's talking about. I have no idea. So, could it be like that statistic, like just to indulge Ben for a second, that statistic is that just like murders committed by men versus murders committed by women, or just murder victims? Because obviously you're going to have more men be victims as more men are perpetrators and they target both. So you're going to kind of get a skewed number there. I don't know. He doesn't post any type of sources to anything that he claims, so it's kind of hard. You as the ideal viewer should not question any of these statistics.
But this notion that in widespread fashion, every woman,
that's not what she said.
Herself back all the time.
That's not what she said.
From a predatory, evil, male patriarchy.
Literally not what she said.
Women now constitute the vast majority of college graduates. Women are vastly overeducated in the United States when compared to men. Women coming out of college are earning more than men are when they first get out of college. There's a vast problem with males in the United States,
You got that right.
actually. Males are falling well behind their female counterparts in the United States. But we have to keep pushing, is the idea that women are victims in the United States. They're part of the victim coalition.
That's literally not what she said. Still not what she said.
Here in the United States, and you have to hear it from She-Hulk. She-Hulk will tell you about it.
That's, again, literally not what she said.
It's so important, guys. So important. By the way, women are the majority of voters in the United States. It's just, it continues to be a source of amazement to me that the people in entertainment think that they are doing something heroic. Now,
he said they're making more out of college, which I don't know. He doesn't post any sources to any of these statistics, so I can't verify any of them. Okay? You, the viewer, are just supposed to nod your head and then be like, yes, Ben, you are telling me the truth. That's the point. He doesn't post any sources to what statistics he's citing. I have no idea. I'm just assuming that whatever he's saying is garbage. But even if it was the case, even if these points were sound, because I have no idea, and I'm not about to sit here and do like a 30-minute deep dive trying to debunk every single lie that this guy makes, or we'll be here all freaking night, because this guy lies about everything or misrepresents everything. But even if this has nothing to do with the point, She-Hulk never said that in that clip. I'm willing to concede that every time Ben Shapiro opens his word hole, his only purpose is to inflate his own ego in the view of his subscribers. True. Oh, man. Yeah, and like I said, even if all of this is true, even if we just take it at face value, none of this is what She-Hulk is talking about.
let them continue doing it. You want to create an opening for market competition so that we here at Daily Wire can make kids content and take away some of your market share? I'm happy to do it. I mean, I'm fine with it. Makes me more money. But as far as sort of poisonous pop culture, the wokeification of pop culture,
The wokeification? The wokeification of pop culture is when there's a legitimate critique about things that actually happen, like mansplaining, and why that's infuriating and frustrating, and how a lot of times women are in the position of being on the receiving end of this and having to be so calm, which was her entire point. She's like, yeah, I know how to control my anger because I have to do it because men like to mansplain all the time to me, which is absolutely a thing that happens. So I don't understand what Ben's problem is, other than Ben, A, is trying to show his garbage indoctrination thing, his indoctrination, media garbage, and 2, he doesn't like the idea that people are bringing up legitimate critiques of society. That's what it is. I saw Mr. Pillow and his bullcrap movie today. Oh, he has a movie? Nice.
again, taking things that used to be sort of the popcorn. I mean, there's nothing more popcorn than a comic book movie about a person who turns green and wears purple pants when he or she gets mad. Like, that's pretty popcorny. And to turn that into, let me lecture you about your white privilege. Let me lecture you about...
Whoa! Whoa! In that clip, because that's all we have to go off, because Ben doesn't provide any other context. And Ben, oh, that's a beautiful pause. Can we get an emote off this? Can we get an emote off this? Oh my god, this is an emote. Hey, folks. I need an emote like this, okay? Hold on. Let's see if I can actually make this into an emote. Give me 1 second. I need this to be an emote. All right. This is gonna be an emote. It's gonna be one of the free ones, too. It's gonna be one of the free ones. I'm gonna save this. Save. Oh man, this is too good. All right, so this is the face you make when this is the face you make when valid criticism comes across like media, and you get big mad because people are talking about it. That's the face you give. Also, in that clip, She-Hulk had absolutely no... She-Hulk did not talk about white privilege in any way, shape, or form in the clip that he proved. So how does he know that that's what this show is about? Earlier, he said he canceled his subscription, so he's never seen this show, so why is he talking about it? What an absolute clown.
Male, patriarchal privilege. All right, I mean, you want to do it that way. That's you guys, but...
Ben needs to take a vacay from the culture war. Ben needs to take a vacation from doing content, period. Ben, yeah.
There will be market consequences, and there should be.
There will be market content. So this is like, the go work, go broke. Let's see. Revenue? This man is a legit intellectual? Okay. Yeah, no, he's not. He's far from it. He has absolutely no intellectual capabilities. And if this is what you think an intellectual is, yikes, I'm sorry. I don't know what do you want me to define? Define what? Define it? What is it? There's no thinking. On your end? Yeah, I know. First of all, not respectful to people who are hurt by catcalling men. Also, Ben is talking fast, but what at all did Ben say? Ben said two things. A, that apparently critiques, like valid social critiques, shouldn't be talked about. Even though that's been a thing, especially in comics since their inception. And two, you need to buy his subscriptions. Those are the only two things that Ben's talking about. Or another way of putting it, Ben doesn't like the idea that, you know, the lived experiences of people, of people, in this case, women, are real and happen, and he doesn't want people talking about that. That's it. 6 minutes and 46 seconds. And I am now less smart for viewing this video. Remember, the title of the video is She-Hulk is Garbage. No media analysis about the story, about the characters, about the plot. Nothing. He hasn't seen it. What he saw was some TikTok clip. Mr. Shapiro's an attorney. Don't give a shit. You have no credentials to criticize this man's logic process. I absolutely can and will. I absolutely can and will, because this has nothing to do with law. This has nothing to do with law. That is a that is a fallacious appeal to, like, what, authority? He's not. This has nothing to do with law. What are you talking about? Wow, he's an attorney, so definitely he knows what he's talking about. Jeez, how intellectually small are you? Shapiro may have been educated at an intellectual level, and he was, but has since apparently abandoned that intellectual integrity, and instead choose to push a very framed anti-scientific position that lacks any nuance. True! Just because a human is educated does not make them wise. That's true. That's true, but that's like a separate point. Like, yeah, first of all, we're not talking about anything that would validate his credentials, right? Like, if this was like a legal issue that, you know, he's following a case or whatever that's under the law in which he practiced, then maybe you can argue, like, okay, he might have something valid to put here. But this is none of that at all. All the man speaks is science. Not really. This is media critique, or lack thereof. And not really. Ben often lies and misrepresents a lot of the statistics that he talks about. I mean, like, look, this is how scientific this guy is, okay? First of all, you called him a lawyer. Nothing to do with science. You do realize that, right? There's two separate things. And furthermore, if all he talks is science, why doesn't he ever post any of his sources or any of his receipts here? Why doesn't he ever post the statistics that he was citing? Why doesn't he ever post anything that we can point to be like, okay, look, this is where the statistics came from. Let's look at it. Nothing. He doesn't post anything. He just expects you to accept that. Because people like you will just hear Ben and think that he's some smart guy without anything to back it up. Why would you listen to a guy? He's not smart? No, he isn't. He's not smart at all. Educated does not mean smart. Okay? Trust me. I know a lot of educated people. Not the same. Not the same. And furthermore, real quick, if you actually believe that this guy is actually merits listening to, or I should say, if you think that this guy is worth listening to, he cites all these statistics and he talks about all this stuff, right? Where's his sources? Why doesn't someone who's supposed to have intellectual integrity post the sources where you could actually take a look at the data that he's talking about? Answer me that question. Why doesn't he let you see? Why doesn't he let you see all the sources of the statistics he was just citing? Isn't that a little weird? Laughing emoji. Yeah, I know. Laughing emoji. Wow, dude. Excellent answer. Excellent answer, dude. I'm sure you learned it from Ben Shapiro. Thanks, dude. Cool. Nice meme. All right, now that we now that we've had a little fun here, Yeah, sound smart and being smart is not the same. Just because you can toss out a whole bunch of statistics that may or may not be true or may or may not be misrepresented. But the thing is, like, he doesn't even sound smart. He doesn't even sound smart. That's the thing. Oh, that's why I said he makes people think he's smart. Okay, I can see that. Listen, if you talk fast and you are confident about the bullshit that you're spreading, you can convince a whole lot of people. You can convince a whole lot of people. No pushback either. No pushback. When asked about sources and be like, hey, that's kind of weird. You never post any sources. Laughing emoji. That's the level of intellectualism that we're dealing with here. I'd feel embarrassed to defend Shapiro. True. There should be no real reason. The only thing that Ben Shapiro should be existing for is just to dunk on. Okay, because like that's it. I mean, what are you supporting here? You guys know what case law means? I don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. Has nothing to do with the video. Has nothing to do with my argument. You know how long you had? Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. Listen, Ben could be in school for 10,000 years and it would be irrelevant to the argument because the video isn't about case law. The video is about media critique. Why should anybody care? Did he even... that's a good question. Did he even practice law? I don't know. I'm not gonna look that up. I don't care. Correct. Just because you're good at one thing, which we don't know, doesn't mean you're good at other things. That's also true, which is exactly my point. The video in question has nothing to do with case law. Shapiro's intellectual career didn't begin with law either, so focusing on that is a little silly. He's passing comment on social issues, so actually citing his poli-science background would be better. That's true. Certified attorney, mean he passed the bar? I don't know. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Even if he passed the bar, didn't pass the bar, spent 10,000 years in law school. I don't know. Wolf Clan, I don't know. It's irrelevant to the argument. Like, these are all red herrings. Literally nothing. Nothing to do with my argument. All right, let's switch gears into something actually serious. Arkansas officer suspended after video shows man beaten. In other words, consequences only happened because there was a video that went viral. And that's what this means. Arkansas State Police have launched an investigation into 3 officers who were captured on video holding down and beating a man outside a convenience store, an interaction that sparked outrage on social media. In other words, this would have never happened if there wasn't video about it. Like, that is just wild to me. So in other words, filming cops is incredibly important, okay? And the fact that there have been moves to make filming cops a crime should deeply disturb you if you see that. Shapiro went to Desert Cut School of Law and was taught by Mandark. Man, I feel like I'm walking into something there. The incident comes as the video footage captured by body cameras and cell phone continue to expose aggressive and abusive policing practices across the U.S. Recently in Florida, a deputy resigned after video surfaced of him pointing his gun at a pregnant black woman during a traffic stop. Yeah, and this is it. Officers in Arkansas responded Sunday to a report of a man who allegedly threatened convenience store workers in a nearby area and then rode his bicycle to Mulberry, a town northwest of Little Rock. Video captured the encounter and showed an officer pinning down Randall Worcester of South Carolina to the ground as one punched him and another kneed him. I think this is better if we actually see that. Desert. Oh, ha! Okay, I get it now.
Please clap.
Whoa! Hey. Is this, does this look like actions that police officers should be doing? Does that look like behavior that should be happening from police officers? Whoa. Yeah, I can't because there's music behind that. But I think the point... I think the point was sufficiently made. Why? Because they're police. They're police. And thank goodness that this person was filming this. Guaranteed, there would not have been an investigation, and these people wouldn't have been suspended. Honestly, this should have been immediate firing. Immediate firing. Immediate. Is that a pregnant woman? No, that's another story. Yeah, another incident. They need to save that each other for that. Yeah. I'll be here all week. The police try to conceal it because of their position of the vehicle. Yep. If this person didn't film this... Sorry, it's over here. If this person didn't film it, we would have known. Gotta go, but I love how you calmly dismantle morons. All day, every day, my friend. It's sad they never come back. Is this police the institution, though, or is this the people, officers? At this point, my friend, I mean, it keeps happening. It keeps happening. Every freaking day. I would also like to point out that this is Arkansas. So, take that one with a grain of salt. It keeps happening. Wait till we get to this one. What I would argue, James, is that if there was no outside video that went viral on social media, chances are these officers would not have been charged. Or would not have been suspended, or an investigation would have been like, yeah, they did the right thing, and like, yeah, our footage, whatever. They'll make up some good excuse. And nothing would have happened. Arkansas police are rogue. Police are rogue in general. 2 deputies Worcester, 27, was taken to a hospital for treatment on Sunday. After the hospital discharge, an officer booked him to a local jail on multiple charges, including second-degree battery, resisting arrest, and terroristic threatening. I would also like to see the officers being arrested for aggravated assault as well. 2 deputies with the nearby Crawford County Sheriff Office were suspended pending an investigation into the use of force practice. What investigation do you need, bro? What investigation do you need? The investigation should be, oh look, here's the evidence. It's clear as day in the middle of broad daylight. There's your investigation. The suspect has been detained. He is no longer a threat. Your only job would then be to put him in the back of the squad car and take him into the jail or whatever. You're being argumentative at this point. How are all police rogue? Do we need to keep going with the different story? Because we'll switch gears into the next story. And yeah, that's politics, my friend. If you can't handle it, then I don't know. I don't know why you're here. If you can't handle your views being challenged by somebody else, I don't know why you're here. Like, what investigation needs to happen? Okay? The video is as plain as day. Okay? There is no ambiguity here. What investigation? What I'm meaning more is that if it's the institution, then that's somehow reformable. You can over time change the policy and training. It's not that. But it's the people who then get attracted to the institution. How do you change that? Because I get the feeling that some officers are just bullies who use badges as means of getting away with it, and these people are bad before they get in, rather than made bad once they're in. There is elements of that too. And they're protected. They protect each other. They protect each other, and so the cycle continues. It is systemic. I believe so. Two deputies with nearby Crawford County Sheriff's Office were suspended pending an investigation to use of force practices while a police officer working for the municipality of Mulberry was placed on leave. Authorities are yet to publicly release the officer's name. You're right, sometimes they use guns. I'm sorry, you're 100% correct. Sometimes they just straight up go to the gun part. You're right. You're right. The state police investigation will be limited to the use of physical force by the deputy and police officer. Upon completion of the investigation, the case file will be submitted to the Crawford County prosecuting attorney, who will determine whether the use of force by law enforcement was consistent with Arkansas law. Meanwhile, in Florida, Deputy Jason Dessou of the Bradford County Sheriff resigned after footage of initially captured by one of a woman's children. Jesus Christ. So again, this only happens when they get filmed. Showed an aggressive interaction following a traffic stop. All right, we'll go into this story. Here we go. Yeah, I really think it's just the way, like, there's multiple factors here. I do think that it is the cops themselves. And I do think that the institution, known as the police, reinforces that behavior, reinforces the already bad behavior, okay? Because generally speaking, like, if you're a good cop, you get pushed out. You quit, you resign, or you get threatened. That's just how it is. And in fact, there was a great documentary that was done. I want to say by PBS. Hold on, was it PBS? I forget. PBS. It was like a 10-minute video. Oh, yeah, here it is. Oh, no, it was Frontline PBS. This was great.
They spend time.
But I do not believe so. How would you want us to train? If, put officers in, and maybe they'll try to avoid it.
I need you to see this, this part over here. Button. Holy shit. Hey, listen, if that doesn't, like, scream some freaking red alerts, some alarm bells, I don't know, fam. I don't know. But yeah. Case closed. No further questions, Your Honor. Oh, by the way, James, if you want to check out the full, like, documentary, it's like a 10-minute thing. You can check it out here, by the way. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Michael Hassler. Facts. Thank you. I appreciate the follow. The Supreme Court has decided on multiple occasions that police have no obligation to protect people not already in their custody. True. This is a female officer point of view. What? They always panic in stressful situations? What are you talking about? This has nothing to do with whether or not she's female. It is the training. This has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not they're female. That wasn't the whole point. What? That's kind of weird that that's where your mind went to. My mind was focused on the scenario-based training, often kind of prompts police officers to be jumpy. Yeah, found the incel, true. Jumpy, and more often than not, press the panic button and people die. Yeah, this is not a female issue whatsoever. This is a systemic problem of the institution known as the police. And our clown here, our resident clown here, is trying to say that it's basically a female. It's the female's fault. It's the female's fault because she's in a stressful situation, and that's just how women are. Fucking clown. It's a subjective opinion made by female. Nope. Nope. Nothing to do with whether or not she was female. Florida deputy. Oh, there's other there's other instances where it's not the female. Okay. There's other instances where officers use their guns first in a jumpy scenario that are not female. It's not a female thing. You can disagree, but you're wrong. Facts don't really care about how you feel about the situation. Okay? Sorry. Florida deputy resigns after after video shows tense traffic stop involving a pregnant woman. Seen on multiple video cams, vids on YouTube. Don't give a shit. A Florida deputy has resigned after a video showed a tense traffic stop involving a pregnant woman. Ebony Washington, who is 4 months pregnant, said that she and 3 children were on their way home from Gainesville when they were pulled over. I was speeding, and I'm about to get a ticket. Washington did not pull over right away because she wanted to find a well-lit area, which I believe is what you're supposed to do anyways. It was dark and I was with my kids. I felt uncomfortable and I did not want to be able to have anyone, and I didn't want to be able to not have anyone else around. But the Bradford deputy, Jason DeSue, a man was agitated by the move. One could say he was a little bit jumpy. He was a little bit emotional, you know? One could say he was panicking in a stressful situation. Pull the vehicle over or I'll put you in the ground. Jesus. A little jumpy there, Mr. Macho Man. Once Washington pulls into the parking lot, Dessou gets out of his patrol car and pulls his gun out. Damn. What do you have to say about that? Is that the female brain in this male deputy? Oh, I see. So when a man does it, I see. When a man does it, it's called ego. Gotcha. I see. Washington, if you make a move, that'll be the last mistake you make. Do not move. Simon says. Washington put her hands outside the vehicle. Your logic is obscured. You're not saying anything. You're not saying anything. You do realize that, right? You're not saying anything. The only point that you have made this entire time that you've been here, being an absolute clown, the only point you have made this entire time is that women panic when they're stressful, and only women. And that's why they use their gun first. I'm trying to tell you the only reason I didn't stop. I'm very educated. Lord knows I was only not pulling over because it's dark out. I have 3 kids with me and I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable. Just shut up. I don't care about why. Washington's daughter said she was frightened during the ordeal. I was scared that he was going to either take her to jail or that he might hurt her. Why is he so upset? She wasn't doing anything. Washington was given a speeding ticket. I've done any movement outside of what we would have done would have been the opportunity for him to pull the trigger. Him having the power, the badge, and the gun, and the authority to do something, I think sometimes officers like himself, they take advantage. I think a lot of them do. Deputy Dessou resigned from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office after the incident. If they were only so aggressive like this during the school shooting, oh no, nothing that could, nothing that could threaten their own lives. They wouldn't run into there to save the kids. Yeah, right. Yeah, so the other 3 were also rogues. Were also rogue cops. The cops that killed George Floyd were also rogue cops. Damn. Yeah, de-escalation? Nope, straight to the gun. Straight to the gun. A lot of rogue cops. It's almost like it's a common problem. I'm guessing also the cops who lied to illegally get a search warrant on Breonna Taylor were also rogue cops of the entire department too. Oh, what about the rogue cops that were where the entire department had to be disbanded because they were saying some white supremacist shit? Oh man, damn. Another set of rogue cops? Jeez. Yikes. Oh, look, another rogue. Look, another... Oh, well, this time it's a whole department of rogue cops, I guess. It just keeps happening. Entire police force in Alabama disbanded because officer who sent racist texts could not be fired. So they just disbanded the whole thing. Nice. Damn, I guess just keeps happening. Damn. Yikes. I do think that cruelty is some underneath that, especially like what James was saying, what James Napper was saying about, yeah, that just happened last week. We could do this all day. We could do this all day. Alabama and Arkansas. Hope we can find a correlation. I have no idea what your point is saying. Are you saying that this only happens in southern states? Are you saying that this only happens in like majority conservative area? Hey, who has had to pay out the most amount of money for lawsuits for excessive force? Can anybody tell me which police department is the one who holds the record for shelling out money for lawsuits that are brought against them? Can somebody in chat tell me which police force? Nope, not Wisconsin. That's right. New York, NYPD. Keep taking L's. You could do a 24-hour stream on this one subject and you might be able to cover all the reported incidents for just this year. Yeah, and those are the reported incidents, yeah. The one in the state with the most liberals. Yeah, cops. My point wasn't about liberals or conservatives. My point was, you were trying to make the implication. You were trying to say Alabama, Arkansas, these are like deep south kind of states, right? No, it doesn't matter, okay? Cops are cops. That was my point. That was my point. Try to keep up. I could do a 24-hour stream on this. I could do like incident after incident after incident of all these rogue cops. I absolutely could. But that's not what I'm here for. Absolutely, you're 100% correct, Maple Leaf Dragon. Oh, the pillow video is about Tina Peters and the voting machines. Oh no! Dominion Smartmatic, change the votes. Is Mr. Pillow Guy gonna provide us evidence? Yeah, you would also need a week of therapy afterwards. True. True. Ban the machines! Oh, that's what the video is about? Nah. Listen, anybody who disputes this would have to make their case under oath, okay? Listen, buddy, if you don't like taking L's and you don't like people challenging your ideas, then why are you here? Why are you here if you're losing brain cells? Okay? Why are you here? Pillow Dude is a computer's worst nightmare. He's coming to get you. Oh, God. Now that is a nightmare scenario. Is it like a humiliation thing to you? I don't know. You sat there in silence for 8 seconds? No way! 8 whole seconds? Did you count for me? Did you count? I'm impressed you could get to 8. Fox News editor Chris Steyerwalt says in his book, network viewers would have been more prepared for a Trump loss in 2020 if they'd been given a more accurate view of the race. Now, this is not, despite what the mainstream headline wants you to think, this is not exonerating. Exonerative? I don't know the word. Whatever. This doesn't exonerate you, okay? The former Fox News political editor, Chris Steyerwalt, in his forthcoming book, says viewers would have been more prepared for President Trump's loss in the 2020 presidential election had they been given a more accurate assessment of the race through the network's coverage. Damn. In the book, Broken News, Why the Media Rage Machine Divides America and How to Fight Back, the irony is this, it was written by the Fox News political editor, who was fired in 2021. So, the audacity that this guy has to then turn this around and say, like, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, no, because if he wasn't fired, you best believe he would have continued working for them. Who said he was fired from Fox in 2021, writes that over his 11 years at the network, he increasingly saw coverage that didn't fully capture what viewers needed. You were a political editor, my friend. Where were you? Where were you? You were an editor. Sorry, come with serious news. The UK is predicted to get 18% inflation in the next 8 months, and the energy prices rise is expected to go up to 400%. Yeah, if that's the case, if that's true, because I don't know how dire the situation is, but I'm gonna say, sure. This would explain Thinking Sabercat's claim yesterday, that a general strike might be on its way because it's unsustainable. Like, you can't keep going this way, especially when this is a policy issue. Steyerwalt writes that such coverage became commonplace during Trump's White House tenure and points to rage that he encountered at the Fox News decision desk called the pivotal state of Arizona for now, that he encountered after Fox News decision desk called the pivotal state of Arizona for now President Joe Biden in the 2020 election. Amid the geysers of anger, in the wake of the Arizona call, Senator Kevin Cramer, Republican of North Dakota, called for my firing. Damn. And accused me of a cover-up. He adds, covering what exactly? We didn't have any ballots to count, and we didn't have any electoral votes to award. Had viewers been given a more accurate understanding of the race over time, Trump's loss would have been seen as a likely outcome. Instead of understanding his narrow win as 2016 as the shocking upset that it was, viewers were told to assume that the polls don't apply unless they were good for Trump and that forecasters like me were going to be wrong again. Well, I disagree that, like, this is the own, like, sure, the media and particularly Fox had a huge hand in this. But this isn't the only thing, right? This only was primed since the beginning, since months before the election, right? We heard Donald Trump talk again and again and again about how it's going to be rigged, about if I don't win, then it's not legit. months in advance. So it's not just the media, it's not just Fox News, but they absolutely had a hand in amplifying this. If we see a general strike over there, it might give people ideas over here for good or for bad. That's true. I think the worst thing is a lot of poor and elderly people will die from lack of heat. Yikes. Critical thinking is not taught. True. We need a strike like they had in India. Over 200 million people protested. If only. They better not forget the elderly if they actually go for it. Yeah, I don't know. You honestly believe Biden got 5 million votes than Obama in his prime? What? I believe that the count was accurate. You have to prove to me that it wasn't. If you have no proof, shut the fuck up, okay? If you have no proof of a claim, why are you saying it? It's really simple. If you have no proof of a statement that you are making, why are you making it? I have no reason to believe. No legitimate reason. You're just telling me stuff, okay? You're just telling me stuff. This is not evidence. You telling me there was evidence of ballot tampering isn't evidence of ballot tampering. Show it to me. Again, why are you making claims that you have no evidence for? Do you understand the circumstances that led to Biden? No, they don't. They're here to troll, okay? They're here to troll. Like, don't take this guy seriously. They're here to troll. I didn't realize my pillow had a Twitch account. Even Ben Shapiro doesn't believe in the voter myths around the 2020 election. Yeah, imagine that. And that's a low bar, James. That's a low bar. I had to go do something and this person is still here. Somehow. I guess the intellectual Ben Shapiro doesn't count. The word doesn't count anymore because he said something that you disagree with. Yeah, and again, my retort to that claim is facts don't really care about your feelings. If you have absolutely no evidence, why are you saying these things? Putting them in a Twitch chat doesn't make them true. It was in Flint, Michigan. I don't give a shit. Where is the evidence of your claim? I don't care where it was. Show it to me. Put up or shut up. That's my policy. I'm getting bored. Listen. I don't have links activated on this channel, but if you whisper me your evidence, great. If you have any evidence, whisper it to me. Otherwise, put up or shut up, okay? That's true. You know what? You're right. Just email it to Shapiro, okay? I'm sure that he, with his facts and logic, will agree with you, okay? Oh wait, he doesn't. A Fox News spokesperson said Chris Stirewalt's quest for relevance knows no bounds. The spokesperson disputed that Stirewalt's departure from the network was tied to the Arizona call and added that Aaron Mishkin, the head of the decision desk, would be returning for the 2022 midterm elections. A Fox spokesperson in 2021 said that in January of 2021 statement said Stirewalt's departure was part of a post-election restructuring but didn't comment any further on why he left, citing employee confidentiality. As we conclude the election cycle, yet none of this is relevant. The only thing that's relevant about this article is the fact that, like, it's hilarious that now this guy has been working for Fox for God knows how much, is a political editor, and now is writing a book. They were formally charged with it, so it's not my job to educate you. Damn, dude. Again, I don't believe a single word that you say because you said it. Does that make sense? How about that for facts? How about that for logic? Okay? I'm not here to accept bullshit from people just because they say it. If you don't have an article, if you don't have a source, if you don't have evidence, if you don't have anything, why should anybody believe you? Do you see how, like, idiotic that sounds? Let me make a very strong claim. Let me make it. Nope, I'm not doing your homework. You're the one that's making a claim. Prove it. That's not how this works, my friend. If you can't put up, why should anybody listen to you? If you can't put up, why should anybody listen to you? I do see who's the idiot. Absolutely. Wait, they were formally charged in a court of law? Ben Shapiro, the eminent legal scholar and intellectual giant, didn't know about this and instead has been pushing lies about Biden's victory this entire time? That's really disappointing. Ben should know better, huh? Excellent. If I could like this comment, I would. Can we like Twitch comments? Why can't we do that? A Google search would debunk all your jargon? No, I'm not saying. All I'm asking for is for you to provide proof of the statement that you just made. And you cannot. You're incapable of doing it. So no, nobody here should believe that. I'm not doing your homework for you. You made the claim. Prove it. No, there's no evidence of anything that involves his original claim. That's it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I don't care what her name is. I need evidence. You can whisper it to me. If you're so familiar with this, why don't you whisper it to me? Alright, so good memes. Links are GTFO. True. Hey, here's a cool little tidbit. Republican candidates say it's totally just to stone gay people to death. Yeah. A GOP candidate in Oklahoma is getting attention for comments he made several years ago when he justified the death penalty by stoning for gay people. When asked recently about it, he didn't disavow any of his previous comments because that's what they believe in. And you know what? Hey, why don't we just hear it? Or why don't we just see it?
This MoreDaily.com story brought to you by the John M. Ireland Funeral Home and Chapel.
Why don't we just see it?
Scott Esk is a conservative Republican running for the House District 91 seat. On his website, he states that rights come from God.
Red flag number 1. Okay, if you see any candidate saying rights come from God, that is huge red flag. This is usually Republicans. This is a huge red flag. Never vote for anybody like this.
Not from government, and that he is 100% pro-life, 100% pro-Second Amendment, 100% traditional family values, and that he supports lower taxes and spending, state rights, and is a defender of small business.
Like, you put a bunch of laughing emojis, but you can't come up with one link? God is a red flag? Yeah, 100%. This is not a Christian nation. Get fucked.
When I talked to Mr. Esk today, he wanted to make sure voters recognize what he believes is the key characteristic that distinguishes him from the other candidates in the HD 91 race.
Here's what's different from me from all the other candidates in this race. I am standing up against the federal government unapologetically, and I want to see states' rights restored in Oklahoma. And that is something that has been a tool of ours, state nullification, since Thomas Jefferson called it the rightful remedy. That's my big distinction.
Now, all of those things may very well be true about Scott Esk, but he also has expressed some extreme views on the treatment of gays. Those views appeared on July 29th, 2013 on a...
Is the same reason children dying from assault rifles, so reap what you sow? What the fuck kind of comment is that? What? Are you saying that the reason why children are dying from assault rifles is because of God? Why are these Republicans /MAGA? Same thing to me. People believe they know God really, but they're MAGA and Republicans don't know even the 10 Commandments. Yeah, they only care about what suits them, about what facilitates their ability to create a... it's because of lack of God. Alright, you can go fuck yourself. Still, no links to the claim. No links to the original claim. By the way, the claim that this clown previously in chat was saying was the ballot tampering was in regards to the primaries, folks. Was in regards to the 2020 election. She's being charged. Kathy Funk is being charged for opening a seal to a primary. Yeah, I had already looked it up. Yeah, now that they're gone, just to let anyone know, this clown doesn't know the difference between a primary and a national election. Yes, I looked it up. I already looked it up. I had it ready so that as soon as I banned him, I could take the curtain. Wait, what is it? Drop the curtain from the show. Yeah, I already knew what he was talking about. Okay, I I looked it up when he mentioned it. Yeah, he has absolutely no idea. Apparently, Ben Shapiro did not teach him enough facts and logic. Bye-bye. That's pretty effed up, even for a troll to say that school violence happens because of a lack of God. No, this is not a troll. These people seriously believe that. At first, I thought it was a troll, that they were just kind of pulling me, so I was trying to be harder and harder. And then I realized, wait. That dude's serious. Once I realized that, I was like, okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, dude was cringe. They're not sending their best. Yeah, it's super effed up. 100%. Yeah, this is not a Christian country. Get bent. This is not a Christian country. This is a country where you can be free from religion. Yeah, so the scenario that he was talking about wasn't even true. It was about the primaries, okay? Anyways.
A Facebook page belonging to Adam Bates. In response to a link to an article about
if a Christian country forces women to give birth to a headless fetus, I'll pass. We're going to get to that one in a second, Rye. Don't worry, it's coming. I was going to ask him which God. The only one. Jesus Christ. I spoiled it, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Dan Simpson. Rating with a party of 10. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. You came in just in time. I didn't know you were... No, it's all good. It's all good. Welcome, everybody. Hey, homie, got a quick dump. Gotta run. A quick dump and run. Okay, no problem. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Dan Simpson, folks. If you don't know who I am a Difficult Truth. We do the news, we do the politics Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We also hang out on Sundays around noon Eastern Time for Sunday Fun Day. If you guys enjoy the content, stay here. Hit the follow button. You get 5 free emotes. We're working on one with Angry Ben. Angry Ben. Thank you so much, Idan. I appreciate that. If you guys haven't already, take a second and head on over to twitch.tv/IdanSimpson. Go give them a follow. Go give them some support. Also, now that I'm on that tip, check out twitch.tv/AlioShare also. Justin freaking, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Hey. Yeah, I see you're a content creator too. There we go. Head on over. Go show them some love too. Alright? Yeah, I literally just do that when I think I see a troll. I usually do that, and I go like super hard on them until they break. Either usually that's a TOS thing, or they're actually serious about the horrible things that they're saying, and that's a bye. All right, folks, we're getting into the news and into the politics, so let's get back to it. Yeah.
Pope Francis' statement, "Who am I to judge gay people?" Esk responded first by quoting familiar scripture from Romans 1 and Leviticus 20.
So the implication is here, the response to the Pope's comment saying, like, I'm not God, who am I to judge anybody? And then he responds, this Republican, this conservative, responds with, and although with the stupid scripture, and although they know the ordinance of God, those who actually practice such things are worthy of death. They not only do the same, but also give hearty approval to those who practice them.
But it's when Bates asked this question that things got weird. So, just to be clear, you think...
Yeah, things didn't get weird. This is just the Republican Party. Just to be clear. This isn't things getting weird. This is just the Republican Party, okay?
We should
And just to also be clear, this is pre-2016. They were always like this. This is pre-Trump.
execute homosexuals, presumably by stoning. Esk's response, I think we would be totally in the right to do it.
And that should be
goes
the end of
against
that.
Some parts of
That right there should be the end of it. I mean, no further questions, Your Honor. I think we would be totally in the right to do so. That right there, that's enough. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. And again, this is from 2013. This is pre-Trump. The only thing that Trump did was allow them to be who they really want to be. As I said, and I keep saying, and I will beat this horse until forever, this is the Republican Party. They can and they will implement a theocratic authoritarian state. They can and they will. This is what they believe, okay? This is what they believe. Trump's is government about Mar-a-Lago raid. The Trump's PAC $650,000 charitable contribution to the Smithsonian will pay for the portraits of Donald and Melania. It's funny. Anyways, this is who they are, folks.
of libertarianism, I realize.
Nice meme.
And I'm largely libertarian.
I'm largely libertarian, except when I'm not, which is all the time, because I don't believe in anything regarding liberty.
But ignoring as a nation things
or
that
small government, because I want to use the power of the state to be able to make things into law that allows me to do things like, say, I don't know, stone gay people.
are worthy of death is very remiss. When we asked Esk if he really believed that homosexuals should be stoned to death, here's his response.
What I will tell you right now is that that was done in the Old Testament.
So wait, that's a double down. Wait, so what I'm telling you is like, yeah, it was done in the Old Testament, so it's like, yeah, it's okay, dude, you know what I'm saying?
Under a law that came directly from God.
And he believes that all rights come from God. Do you see the problem here? Do you see how dangerous this is? Do you see how dangerous this is? Americans see threat to democracy as number one issue and support Trump probes. Yeah. Yeah, so he's citing, first of all, book of fiction as justification. And furthermore, he wants to then use that to facilitate what he actually wants to do. And what he would do and what he will do should he ever get the chance to have any kind of say is to enact these kind of things, because that's what he would want to do. That's what he actually believes in. Wasn't there technically a separation from the Old Testament into the new ones, which is a completely new covenant with God? He doesn't even know his own Bible. Yeah, but it's not meant to be anything consistent, right? Because it's religion, right? It's just nothing. It makes you can make it and mold it and pick whatever you need to do to justify whatever horrible shit that you want to do. Hell yeah, just pick it out. Yeah, cherry pick, exactly. That's right, just cherry pick whatever it is you need to justify your horrible bigotry.
And in that time, it was totally just. It came directly from God.
Yeah, it was totally just, and it was an edict that I believe came from God, and God gives us our rights, and yeah, you should vote for me and see what happens. I'm just saying.
have no plans to, reinstitute that in.
So all he had to say was, you know what? That was some horrible stuff that I believed in, and you know what? It's wrong, and that's it. And I no longer believe that. But nope, he first starts by justifying it, saying it was in the Word of God, and so it was.
Oklahoma law.
I'm not saying I would do it in Oklahoma law, while simultaneously saying things like rights come from God. Okay.
I do have some very huge moral misgivings about those kinds of sins. And
Yeah, he believes that gay people existing is a sin in and of itself. In which case he's absolutely not fit to be anywhere near power whatsoever. I have no idea what this is. No, thank you. Anybody who opens with that is not fit for office. Should not be anywhere near a position of power. Okay.
I think that those kind of sins will not do our country any good, and certainly doesn't do anything to preserve the family.
Now, again,
Bro, who are you? Who are you? Excuse me. The hubris. The hubris of this person.
we wanted
Remember, in his view, he would declare what's good. And that comes from God. So even though he says, I don't know, I wouldn't make that into Oklahoma law. Bullshit. He would if he had the opportunity. Yeah, the whole family thing is BS because they don't actually believe in that either. They don't actually believe in that either.
to make
It's just a thin veneer to hide behind traditional values to justify what they would call traditional values to justify their bigotry. That's it.
sure he knew what he was saying.
And I think we can both agree it would never be passed. But if somehow that legislation happened, you'd be okay with that.
Again, it's a moot point. What has been
Can't answer the question.
brought out in this, and you're talking about a private conversation. I will not comment about a private conversation that I had.
So I'm not going to answer the question. It's imagine having this kind of response to a question about yeah, would you you said this in 2013 that you would absolutely justify the stoning of gay people, and he can't answer for it. He can't answer for it because it would have to be A, he would have to lie, or B, he would have to admit that he's actually a piece of shit, that he would actually do this, because he would. He would. Given the right circumstances, if this guy ever got into a position of power, he would. Absolutely. Republicans absolutely can and will implement a theocratic authoritarian state.
With anybody, that's you can talk to the other person.
And you know what else is deafeningly? You know what else is very deafening? The silence of all the other Republicans. You know why? Because they secretly agree with it. Or some not so secret, like this guy. There's no widespread condemnation of this. They absolutely are okay with this. Absolutely okay with this. Yeah, okay, exactly. And civics and laws are supposed to represent all people, not just his church and or his political group he wants. Yeah, but that's the Republican Party. That's it. That's the Republican Party. The Republican Party does not believe in democratic norms. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the country. They don't care about anything else. They care about facilitating the implementation of a theocratic authoritarian state. That's what they're interested in. Republicans all the same.
But
From state representatives to federal representatives to the people running for Secretary of State to the people running for governor. This is prominent everywhere in the Republican Party.
Here's what's different from me from all the other candidates in this race. I am standing up against the federal government unapologetically, and I want to see states' rights restored in Oklahoma.
That private conversation was shared with us by the other party involved, with a friend who had the same questions that we did. We're friends. Please tell me you didn't say that, not when you're hoping to get elected. Esk said, I never said I would author legislation to put homosexuals to death.
I just didn't have a problem with it. What? Holy yikes. Holy yikes. Absolute coward. Can't even own up his position, really. He can't even say that that's what he really wants. When push comes to shove, he can't even say it. What a coward. What a small little coward. What a small little coward. I mean, I'm not saying I would author it. I'm just saying that if it happened, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Absolute coward.
But I don't have a problem with it.
Go on national or whatever. I think he's running for state. Go on the whole entire state. Make those comments. Own it, coward.
Now, Esk says he believes his position on homosexuality isn't really different than any of his opponents.
All the other candidates eschew moral perversity like homosexuality, so I'm no different there.
But there is one other significant difference between Esk and his opponents. No one else has made statements supporting stoning homosexuals to death.
Yeah. Because that is fundamentally what the Republican Party is about. They can and they will create a theocratic authoritarian state. This party is not compatible with democratic norms. This party is dangerous. Okay? This party is dangerous. It's not a joke anymore. It's not funny. It's not to be taken lightly. And it's not new. And it's not new. Switching gears to more far-right domestic terrorism. San Antonio man threatened conservatives Conservative Student Conference authorities say the man, Alejandro Vasquez Gomez, Richard Velasquez Gomez, 19, said in a social media post that July 22nd, the beginning of a 3-day Turning Point USA conference in Florida, would be the day of retribution. San Antonio man who investigators say sympathized with incel and voluntary celibate ideology was arrested on charges of threatening conservative student conference with having child prawn on his phone, according to federal criminal complaints. So he was a nonce. The man, Alejandro Gomez, wrote in a July 18 Instagram post, the beginning of a 3-day Turning Point conference in Florida, that would be the day of retribution, according to federal criminal complaints filed in the U.S. District Court of Western District of Texas, at Western District of Texas on August 11th. Incel is an ideology? Kind of. There's a little more to this. There's a little more to this. Let me pull it up. This guy was attached, or at least connected, known fan of Nick Fuentes. So that's why I'm saying the things that I'm saying. Where is this article? No. Oh, here it is. This is what I saw. San Antonio teen threatened the day of retribution at Turning Point USA Conservative Convention. A 19-year-old San Antonio man reported with ties to the far-right commentator Nick Fuentes planned to attack a conservative student conference in Florida. Yeah. The language is strikingly similar to another video by Elliot Roger, an incel who killed 6 people, then himself. Roger spoke out against women who had rejected him and blamed him for his suffering. A motive for Velasquez's alleged threats has not been revealed, but San Antonio Express tied him to Fuentes, who helped lead the Stop the Steal movement, as branded a white nationalist live streamer. Fuentes was banned from Turning Point event last year. According to Fuentes, who's been known to tell the truth, as far as I'm aware, he attended a CPAC. He attended CPAC Dallas last year, where I made a brief appearance. That's right, introducing Marjorie Taylor Greene. For the record, he does nothing to do with America First Claims on social media that he was part of our team in any way are completely untrue. Censorship, debunking, blacklisting didn't work, so now they lie. Yeah. So that was his response. But yeah, not surprising. Not surprising. Mr. Velasquez, who went by the name Latino Zoomer on Instagram, described that day as, "I will have revenge against all humanity, which all of you will pay for my suffering. SAS will be the turning point of the Latino Zoomer lore." Investigators said SAS was a reference to Turning Point USA Student Action Summit. The criminal complaint did not make clear why Velasquez was targeting the TPUSA. Which is a group, yeah, I don't care. The group did not immediately respond for a request for comment on Saturday. A public defender for Mr. Velasquez, Molly Roth, did not immediately return a phone call or email message. Investigators with the FBI said that the post by Mr. Velasquez, which included an image of him sitting in a car, echoed a video by Elliot Rodger, whom they described as a central figure of the incel movement, who ended up killing 6 people in a rampage before fatally shooting himself. Mr. Rodger, who was a student at Santa Barbara College, posted a video on YouTube the day before the attack in which he spoke of women who rejected him and life as a 22-year-old virgin. He said that tomorrow is a day of retribution. The day I will have my retribution against humanity, against all of you. The FBI wrote in the complaint that incel ideology has an extreme hatred towards and endorses violence against women and sexually active people. Yeah. So this would make sense. Just another domestic terrorist. So I think we should preface this article with this story. There's a lot of lone wolves who can't get laid, yeah, and then they end up in 4chan for some reason. Louisiana woman faces horrifically cruel abortion choice over fetus missing skull. A pregnant Louisiana woman faced with either carrying a skullless fetus to term, for the baby will probably die within hours, or traveling several states away to obtain an abortion, has hired a prominent civil rights attorney as she weighs how to move forward. This is the result of Republicans winning elections. This is a result of conservatives being in power. This is what happens. They take away rights. They put people in this kind of situation. Okay? This is a direct result of conservatives winning elections. I can't stress that enough. Nancy Davis has retained lawyer Bren Crump as she become the latest to embody the gut-wrenching decision of some women who are being forced to make gut-wrenching decision some women are being forced to make after the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in June to strip away nationwide abortion rights. According to a statement from the attorney's office, Davis's home state is among those that have outlawed abortion with very few exceptions. Davis from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, said publicly that she tried to have her pregnancy aborted after a 10-week ultrasound revealed that her fetus was missing the top of its skull, a condition known as acrania, which kills babies within minutes or hours after birth. So she knew this at 10 weeks. But acrania was not explicitly included on Louisiana's list of conditions justifying an exception from the state's abortion ban, because of course, the people making this up have absolutely no idea and no business involving themselves with bodily autonomy. This This is the direct result of policy that are made by people who have the same thought process and ideology as the clown who was here earlier in chat. This is the result of Republicans. This is the result of conservatism being allowed to have power. The hospital that treated Davis turned down terminating her pregnancy, which is, as of Friday, in its 13th week. The medical center, Women's Hospital in Baton Rouge, directed her to an abortion clinic, saying that Medicaid insurance would not cover this procedure, but Louisiana's abortion clinics have announced plans to leave state amid legal battles over this ban's enforcement, the New Orleans news outlet Gambit reported. The state senator who authored Louisiana's abortion ban, Katrina Jackson, insisted to Baton Rouge TV station that the hospital should have should have authorized the termination of Davis's pregnancy because the statute contains exceptions for fetuses which are not viable outside a mother's womb. Yeah, but the exceptions are distractions, okay? Because it did fuck all here. And it did fuck all in the other scenario too. Where a 10-year-old had to go to another state. And the same for another woman who had who actually wanted her pregnancy, but something happened, some medical condition, and she was not able to get an abortion. Nonetheless, in his office statement about working with Davis, Crump said Louisiana abortion ban was clearly confusing to interpret and producing negative consequences. Duh. Of course, because that's the point. That's the point. And he accused its authors of inflicting profound and emotional and physical trauma on his client, along with other similarly situated women. Davis, as of Sunday, was planning to travel to North Carolina, which has an abortion ban that she qualifies to be exempt from, rather than give birth to what would be her second child, which she would lose virtually immediately. It's hard knowing that I have to carry it to bury it. This is the Republican Party, folks. The statement about Crump's office working with Davis stopped short of saying what their legal plans are, other than noting that she planned to raise money for an out-of-state abortion trip through an online GoFundMe, whose stated goal is $20,000. But Davis told WAFB she hoped that lawmakers consider additional medical conditions to serve as exceptions to the abortion ban, which threatens providers with criminal prosecution and forfeiting their medical licenses. This one that needs to be on the list of exceptions. They don't care. They don't care. They do not care. The statement from Crump's office had Ms. Nancy Davis was put in a horribly cruel position. That's the Republican Party. Ms. Davis has to endure unthinkable emotional pain and mounting physical risk. That's the Republican Party. A women's hospital spokesperson declined to comment when asked by CNN, citing medical privacy requirements, but the spokesperson did say unviable pregnancies were complex to navigate. And that's the point, because the people who are writing this, their purpose is to punish women. Their purpose is to take away bodily autonomy, because ultimately they don't believe in that. Other clients of Crump have included relatives of George Floyd, who was murdered by Minneapolis police, Trayvon Martin, an unarmed teen who was shot dead by a neighborhood watch captain, Breonna Taylor, who was killed by Kentucky police while they searched her home, which they lied to do so. Crump's office helped the families of Floyd, Martin, and Taylor secure tens of millions in settlement money. Words of Davis' plight emerged almost at the same time that a Florida court blocked a 16-year-old. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Here's a excellent another example of the results of Republican policies. The court blocked a pregnant 16-year-old from having an abortion because they found that she was too immature to decide whether or not she should have an abortion, and therefore instead must give birth to the child. So, a 16-year-old is too immature to make that decision, but somehow she is absolutely mature enough to A, carry this child to term. 16-year-old, a child, must therefore give birth to a child, to a baby. She's apparently mature enough for that. Which is weird. It's kind of a bit of a tell, right? I don't know, maybe Republicans see 16-year-olds as mature. It's kind of strange, isn't it? Kind of strange. Yeah, so they decided that she's absolutely mature enough to take the child to term, care for it, and have all the responsibilities that come with that for the next 18 years. So apparently she's absolutely mature enough to do that. By the way, this story, she has no backup, no parents, essentially, and her father unwilling to help or incapable of helping. She's got no backup, no job, nothing. But apparently, she's too immature to decide whether or not she should be must is the word here, to give birth to this child. The Republican Party, folks. This is a direct result of the Republican Party's policy decisions. Meanwhile, earlier in the summer, a 10-year-old who was raped and impregnated had to travel to the neighboring Indiana to terminate her pregnancy because the state's ban on most abortions. Again, the results of the Republican Party. Though some media outlets and right-wing politicians basically questioned whether the girl even existed, that was a thing. By the way, the Republicans tried to take that route, but that didn't really pan out so good. Authorities have since charged a man, or was instead a liberal hoax to stoke support for abortion rights. Authorities have since charged a man with the girl's rape, a crime which he had purportedly confessed. Yeah. The result of this is a direct result of Republicans winning elections. This is a direct result of Republican policy. So yeah. Three more states, just to kind of piggyback right off that one, are poised to enact abortion trigger bans this week. By the end of August, nearly all of the abortion trigger bans in the country will have taken effect. That was fast. 13 states have legislation that was designed to automatically outlaw abortions once the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. In some states, a trigger law is written so that abortions are immediately prohibited without needing further action. In others, the policy requires 30 days to go into effect or certification from the state's attorney general. Meanwhile, in Utah, Wyoming, and North Dakota, their trigger bans have been temporarily blocked by local courts. A number of states have codified abortion bans without the use of trigger laws. So far, a total of 14 states have near-total abortion bans or bans after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Barring any last-minute court intervention, 3 of those states are expected to implement even more draconian laws starting August 25th. Tennessee. Since Roe was struck down in June, Tennessee has banned abortions once cardiac activity is detected, which is about 6 weeks of pregnancy. This is like a weird way of phrasing it. Yeah, it's not really a heartbeat, but whatever. But on the 25th, nearly all abortions will be outlawed, except in cases related to or preventing the death or serious injury to the pregnant woman. That law will make no exceptions for rape or incest. Telling. Very telling. Self-report. Because that's kind of weird that Republicans have, an issue with that. That's kind of an issue with exceptions for this. That's kind of weird. It's a self-report, if you ask me. Idaho, similar to Tennessee, Idaho has already banned abortions beyond 6 weeks of pregnancy in a law that took effect on Friday. Barring court intervention, later this week, the state will impose a near-total abortion ban with the exception of rape, incest, or medical emergency. Medical emergency? Who knows what that is? Physicians who perform abortions outside of these circumstances will be at risk of up to 5 years in prison. The Justice Department sued Idaho to block this law. During a court hearing on Monday, a federal judge said there seems to be an absolute conflict between the law and federal law regulating emergency care. The judge said he would issue a decision by Wednesday over whether or not to block the law. Yet another law already in effect allows potential relatives of an embryo or fetus to sue abortion providers up to $20,000 within 4 years of the procedure. That policy would not be granted for rapists, but still apply to the rapist family members so that effectively they can pay for the rapist jail fund, because that's the Republican Party. Texas. Abortion has already been outlawed in Texas because of a law from before Roe v. Wade that is now being enforced. The current ban makes no exceptions for rape and incest. Kind of weird that keeps popping up. Kind of weird. The state's trigger law on August 25th will toughen punishment for those involved in an illegal abortion, putting physicians who perform the procedure at risk of facing life in prison and fines no less than $100,000. It only allows the procedure for a pregnant patient in a medical emergency, which, who knows? That's very loose term. They're so pro-life, they'll kill you for it. They're so pro-life that they'll kill you for it. Nice. Georgia is allowing pregnant women to claim their fetus on their taxes. Yeah, that's a horrible policy. Because what's gonna happen? Like, how are they gonna administer that? What happens when a whole bunch of people start claiming fetuses on their taxes, but those fetuses, the majority of times, don't make it out of just normal miscarriages or whatnot? What do we do with that? The state's just going to give out continuous free money? Like, what happens when you get pregnant, I don't know, this month, and then you get then there's a miscarriage, and obviously you file your taxes, as you should. You absolutely should. Since this is Georgia law, you should. You then file that as a you claim that on your taxes. You claim the clump of cells on your taxes. Let's say you have a miscarriage. Then you try again because you want a family. And then that happens, so you claim another clump of cells on your taxes, as you should, and so on and so forth. I mean, what are you gonna do? How's that gonna pan out? They didn't really think any of this through, because the point is to get rid of bodily autonomy. Stated with abortion bans taking effect, or better yet, what happens if you go out of state for an abortion? Yeah, I mean, you claim the fetus. Yeah. There you go. You claim the fetus, and then you take a camping vacation, and oops, damn, I had a miscarriage. Or you take, certain herbs, or certain combination of herbs, which are completely natural, so how are you going to know? And oops, damn, that's a shame. Indiana became the first state to pass new legislation for an abortion ban since the reversal of Roe. The law is set to take effect on September 15th. Similar to other states, Indiana will ban abortion except in a case of rape, incest, or medical emergency. Even then, the law imposes a complicated process for the abortions to be performed. Because that's the point. Arizona's abortion ban, which should criminalize providing abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy, is scheduled to go into effect September 24th, but a stricter ban is being considered by the courts as requested by the state's attorney general. This is the consequences of the Republican Party. What else is there to say? Here's an interesting story. A new group led by a prominent conservative lawyer has received $1.6 billion from one donor, the single largest contribution to a politically focused nonprofit that's ever been made public, and a fortune that could be used to fuel right-wing interests. The nonprofit Marble Freedom Trust received the contribution in the form of stock and then funneled that more than $200 million to other conservative organizations last year. Marble Freedom is led by Leonard Leo, the co-chairman of the Federalist Society, who advised former President Trump on his Supreme Court picks. Yeah. If the couple of previous articles that we've read doesn't tell you where the Federalist Society stands, runs a sprawling network of other right-wing nonprofits that don't disclose their donors, which are often referred as dark money groups. CNN review of the financial documents connected the donation to bear sealed Said, a low-profile 90-year-old Chicago electronics company executive and philanthropist who had been previously tied to smaller anonymous contributions to other right-wing groups. The New York Times, which first reported the contribution on Monday, also identified Said as the donor. The massive donation instantly makes the Utah-based group one of the most well-funded organizations bankrolling conservatives in the U.S., a staggering distinction from a group with zero public profile or even a website. In comparison, a single contribution is more than double the total amount raised by Trump's presidential campaign committee during the entire 2020 election cycle. This should be ringing numerous alarm bells, folks. Robert McGuire, the research director for Citizens Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, called the donation stupefying and by far the largest known contribution to a dark money political group. I've never seen a group of this magnitude before. This is the kind of money that can help these political operatives and their allies start to move the needle on issues like reshaping the federal judiciary, making it more difficult to vote, a state-by-state campaign to remake election laws, and lay the groundwork for undermining future elections. Yep, they're gonna try, and they're gonna be very, very well funded for quite a while. This isn't going away. Leo said in a statement that it's high time for conservative movement to be among the ranks of George Soros. I don't know who this is. Arbella advisors and other left-wing philanthropists going toe-to-toe in the fight to defend our Constitution ideals. But, there are plenty of billionaires who fund Republicans. And, the idea that the funny, juxtaposition of left-wing philanthropists and left-wing oligarch is just hilarious to me. Referring to two liberal-leaning billionaires and a consulting firm that manages several dark money groups on the left. Said did not respond to requests for comment and left on the phone number listed for him and a longtime assistant. Marble Freedom wrote that it was withholding information about which company it was donated and who it was sold to because it would effectively disclose the identity of its donors. Yeah. The details about the donation connected to the sale of the Chicago-based electrical device firm Trip Light, whose long-time chairman was Said. After receiving the donated stock, Marble Freedom sold that company on March 17th of 2021. According to the tax form, the same day, according to the SEC documents, the American Irish Power Company Eaton acquired the Trip Light for $1.65 billion. During the sale of the sole shareholder of Trip Light, who was represented by New York law firm Sullivan and Cromwell, Law 360 reported at the time. Less than 2 weeks later, Marble Freedom paid Sullivan and Cromwell $940,000 in legal fees. A spokesperson for Eaton said the company would not provide more detail about the acquisition, and several lawyers involved in this transaction did not respond to requests for comment. Yeah, I mean, the TLDR of this is very simple. The conservative movement, the right wing, the far right movement is it just got supercharged effectively. then I suspect they will have absolutely no qualms about using this, and they will be well funded for quite a while, just in time for the midterms in 2024. Ethic Board South Dakota Governor Republican Governor Noem may have engaged in misconduct. The Ethics Board said it found sufficient information that Governor Kristi Noem has engaged in misconduct when she intervened in her daughter's application for a real estate appraiser license. And it could take action against her. The 3 retired judges on the Government Accountability Board determined that appropriate action could be taken against Noem, though it didn't specify the action. The board voted unanimously to invoke procedures calling for a contested case hearing that would give Noem, who has denied any wrongdoing, a chance to publicly defend herself against the allegations of conflict of interest or malfeasance. Right? I think that, like, the funniest part, the irony of this is that the real TLDR is, like, these people talk about, like, meritocracy and all this other stuff, and, like, here they are engaging in essentially nepotism and corruption. And instead of letting her daughter do, win whatever it is that she's doing for her real estate stuff, instead of actually believing and living that supposed principle, nope, she intervened and attempted to help, if not outright helped, her daughter. Get her real estate appraiser license. Principles? What are those? Just the Republican Party, folks.
Why are enviro justice advocates mad about the Inflation Reduction Act? And Chevron funds news sites?
Yes, I heard about this. The fact that an oil company funds news sites is just wild to me.
Welcome to the Climate Recap from the Beckosphere Climate Corner, your go-to place for international and US-based climate news. I'm Becky Hogue, a climate communicator. I think I've earned that title. Today is Monday, August 22nd.
All right, hold on. Folks, I have to take a second. To do a quick chill sesh, okay? I haven't done this all week, or I haven't done this in a few days, so I need to take a quick second to do a chill sesh. Folks, consider taking 5 seconds to check out this month's sponsor, HelloFresh. HelloFresh has more 5-star reviews than any other meal kit, so you'll know you always get something delicious no matter what you choose. Currently, also, we have much experience firsthand with HelloFresh. They're pretty good. With 50 weekly options, including a rotating selection of items at HelloFresh Market, also including vegan and veggie diets. There are plenty of delicious dish to choose from no matter what the occasion. With HelloFresh, step-by-step recipes are super easy to follow, this is true, pre-portioned ingredients help cut prep time and make cleanup a breeze, this is also true. Don't waste money on food you don't need, also true. And all HelloFresh recipes come with pre-portioned ingredients to make sure you just have the right amount for each recipe. If you use code POG, HF475, you get up to 16 free meals, 3 surprise gifts across 6 HelloFresh boxes, including free shipping on your first box. Make sure you click !HelloFresh. And just use code POG HF475. Is that Sam Cedar's background? No, it's my background. Okay? Sam Cedar stole it from me. I'm just taking it back. That's all. Also, as our friend here just hit !YouTube or YT, go on and hit the subscribe button and hit the follow button while you're there. Yeah, it is exactly Sam Cedar's background, or at least it's the same exact panels. I just did my own thing to them, kind of, and threw some lighting, finagled it a little bit. Yeah, it's the exact same panels.
Let's jump right into today.
Can you just get them on Amazon? No, funny enough, these panels are actually on IKEA, or were. I don't know if they still sell them, but these are IKEA panels. These are IKEA panels. That's the secret, okay? Listen, you can't tell anybody, okay? There's only certain groups, there's only certain people that know this secret, okay? You can tell by their background, but only a certain number of people know this secret, okay? So don't go out and giving it away, okay?
Today's news. Let's start with some extreme weather events. China issued its first national drought alert of the year as wildfires raged. A special team has been mobilized to protect crops along the Yangtze River from scorching temperatures. Rainfall is not coming unless it's cloud seeded. At least rainfall isn't coming to that part of the country. In the western province of China, at least 16 people were killed from flooding caused by...
I'm glad the secret's safe, okay?
Heavy rainfall. In Africa, a wildfire in northern Nigeria rages on and has killed at least 38 people, mostly in the east bordering Tunisia, which was baking at about 118 degrees Fahrenheit or 48 degrees Celsius. Hundreds in the area have suffered burns and respiratory illnesses. Meanwhile, forest fires began raging 200 kilometers southeast of Moscow, Russia, Thursday. Despite the distance, Moscow breathes in the smoke. Temperatures in Moscow are expected to reach 91.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 33 degrees Celsius this week.
Wow.
That's hot, but still far from the record made in 2010 at 38.2 degrees Celsius. Other parts of Europe, specifically France, Austria, and Italy, were hit by major storms on Thursday that killed at least 12 people, including 3 children. Heavy rains and winds struck the region, causing flash floods and deadly tree falls. We talk a lot about drought in the western half of the US, but now we need to talk about it in the Northeast. All of Massachusetts and Rhode Island and much of Connecticut are in a drought. Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey have seen 2 to 6 inches of rain less than normal levels over the past 60 days.
Sheesh.
Okay, we have 2 climate studies today. A new study published in the journal Nature set out to look at current and potential worldwide bike adoption trends for short-distance travel and how an increase in adoption could impact climate and human health. The researchers began developing the first global dataset for bicycle ownership, starting with data from 60 countries. From 1962 to 2015, they found the global production of bikes increased during that time at a rate faster than cars. The 1970s was particularly a good time for bike purchases. Yet, biking still represents less than 5% of commutes in most countries, and the researchers found that increased bike ownership doesn't necessarily mean increased bike usage. A worldwide pro-bike policy and infrastructure development, similar to what is currently in the Netherlands and Denmark, is needed to spur climate and human health improvements. However, not all countries have a flat terrain, and most haven't produced the infrastructure, bike culture, or high environmental concern that the Netherlands and Denmark have. Increased car use can lead to decreased bike use, not just because it's a trade-off, but also because biking in a car-dominated area can be dangerous. But if biking was more incentivized and prioritized in infrastructure, and everyone in the world cycled about 1.6 kilometers a day, like in the case of Denmark, it could reduce a UK's worth of global emissions.
Yeah, 100%.
It goes up to everyone.
And this is also, like, just to piggyback off that, this is also, like, the way we do cities, right? We mostly plan cities, like, around cars, which is not good. Not good.
Biking about 2.6 kilometers a day, it would drop global passenger fleet emissions by 20%.
Nice.
These are all according to 2015 numbers, by the way. More cycling also leads to a decrease in adult obesity and traffic-related deaths.
True.
Meanwhile, in the US, a Princeton study looked into how burying power lines could reduce power outages during extreme weather events. It used Harris County, Texas as an example because it has the densest population along the Gulf Coast. The country was hit by Hurricane Laura in 2020 and Hurricane Ida in 2021. After those hurricanes hit, the area experienced heat waves. These compounding risks are expected to increase due to climate change. In a business-as-usual scenario, the researchers determined that the risk of a 1 in 100-year hurricane heat wave combo that results in power outages for more than 5 days will grow from 0.8% chance now to an 18.2% chance by 2100. However, strategically burying 5% of power lines drops the probability down to 11.3%. The key word, though, is strategic. Current practices bury power lines mostly at random. Prioritizing more at-risk communities could reduce the number of people impacted by these events. The researchers stressed the importance of collaboration between engineers, climate modelers, and city planners. Okay, we have 2 climate victories today, and I'm going to share one now, and I'm going to share one at the end, like I did last time. Black Diamond Coal is facing federal charges for allegedly faking coal dust tests for its mining machine operators in Floyd County, Kentucky. Coal dust causes black lung disease, a fatal illness that has been on the rise recently in Appalachia due to several geological factors. But companies lying about it definitely doesn't help the situation. If convicted, the company could face steep fines, and the dust sampler supervisor could face fines or imprisonment. Okay, but speaking of coal-related pollution, our first climate fail of the day involves the Texas Valley Authority dumping coal ash in South Memphis, a historically black community. This new 9-year plan came right after the community just won a case against Valero Energy and Plains All-American, who wanted to put a pipeline near the town. Back to the start again, but this time there's nothing community members can do about it. This waste is laced with mercury, arsenic, and other contaminants that will get dumped in the community waste site and covered with dirt. This won't help the chemicals from blowing with the breeze or impacting groundwater. Residents say the nation's largest utility company, TVA, failed to consult with them adequately or seriously to consider less harmful alternatives. This is an all too common experience for black and brown communities due to racist zoning practices called redlining, to keep people of color confined to a certain part of cities while encouraging white people to move to the suburbs. South Memphis has some of the worst air in Tennessee due to being near trucking routes, which has led to a lower life expectancy and higher rates of cancer. Dumping coal ash nearby will make the situation even worse. Continuing with the theme of environmental justice issues, EJ advocates are slamming the Inflation Reduction Act for selling out communities that live near fossil fuel plants, many of which are lower income or communities of color. They say the plant's fossil fuel and carbon capture provisions will result in people being subjected to even more associated pollution. On Thursday, dozens of activists protested outside the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's Manhattan office with signs reading, "Stop the Dirty Pipeline Deal" and "Off Fossil Fuels." 10 were arrested. Even one of the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council members called out the plan, saying, quote, "Somehow we're both a bargaining chip and the people that can save the day when it comes to elections. Those are moral contradictions that can't stand for too long."
Yeah, and like, what's really frustrating is like, why do we have to capitulate to people, like Joe Manchin, right? Like, why do we have to capitulate to people like Joe Manchin? This is just unfathomably undemocratic. That's not the way things work. That's not how things should work.
About $60 billion in the $700+ billion bill will go towards environmental justice efforts, according to Democrats. And they say that that's the largest amount of money allocated to communities impacted by pollution ever. So that shows how low our bar is. Some environmental groups have questioned the $60 billion figure too, saying environmental justice funding is closer to $47 to $49 billion in the bill. Now, environmental justice advocates are focusing on 2 goals: blocking the fast-tracking permitting of fossil fuel infrastructure projects provided by the bill, and demanding President Biden declares a climate emergency to open up more money to tackling climate change. In other news, the oil company Chevron is taking advantage of Texas's news deserts by starting a community news site called Permian Proud. I wish I was kidding. News deserts are places without a local news organization. It's a growing problem in the US because traditional news sites are having trouble staying open, so they either die or get bought up by hedge funds, which then strip the staff to next to nothing and suck all the money they had left. One-third of newspapers in and around the Midland County have died over the last 2 decades. So Chevron decided this is a great opportunity to assert its influence on the community located near the Permian Basin. The Permian Basin is where many US oil and gas operations are located. Now, to be fair, Chevron does have its brand all over the site, and Permian Proud does talk about community-based stuff. But once you enter the industry tab, it's entirely Chevron propaganda. Some of the top stories in this section right now include Permian Basin International Oil Show donates $282,000 in scholarships for local students, and new solar energy field in Permian Basin to lower Chevron's carbon intensity. And Houston Chronicle, Permian Basin economy could thrive for years to come as oil industry modernizes. Good stuff. Totally not propagandistic. This is not even Chevron's first sponsored news site, by the way. They also sponsored the Richmond Standard in California. Down to Mexico now, where President Obrador wants to nationalize the energy grid in a pro-fossil fuel sort of way. 70% of Mexico's energy comes from fossil fuels. The country's authorities are keeping clean energy out of the mix through regulatory action in favor of state-owned oil and gas companies.
Whoa! Hold on. First of all, I need to stop this. 1 second. I just realized that 2 of you have hit the subscribe, have touched the link and hit the subscribe button on the HelloFresh sponsorship. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I wish I had some type of alert that would let me know Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, really does mean a lot. Thank you for supporting this channel, and thank you for supporting our sponsor, HelloFresh. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry about that. All right.
Doing
Thank
so,
you.
it's jeopardizing billions of dollars in renewable energy investment.
You guys are just so generous. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
There are a few exceptions, though, like there's a $1.6 billion plan to build a state-owned solar power plant and several hydroelectric refurbishments. Okay, we need a positive story after all that. Scientists and students from the University of Miami are working on developing a hybrid coral to plant off of the Miami coast. It's part of a $75 million federal grant from the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency to help address security threats to the military and civilian infrastructure along vulnerable coastal regions in Florida and the Caribbean. Coral reefs are natural storm diffusers, like mangroves. Both of the coral species are staghorn, and the goal is for the coral to hold strong against increasingly strong storm surges. And that was your climate recap for Monday, August 22nd. If you like the work I do, please follow this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, leave a review, and consider checking out the Beckosphere Climate Corner YouTube channel.
Yes, please
If you're on Twitch, I'll see you in my stream from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time today to talk about more climate news.
Based.
Remember to talk about the climate crisis
Shit.
every single
No, I forgot. Okay, I need
and
to...
to support your local news
I need to go to her channel
organizations.
and
Bye for now.
hang out in this stream, okay? Folks, if you have a second, please go consider checking out this podcast, and please consider, if you have a moment, to go check out the Twitch channel. If you have a moment. They do fantastic work, and I really do appreciate what they do, what she does. She's also been on this channel a couple of times, and I hope that she comes back for another combo, and that we oh my god. Woo! It's like if you say the Beckosphere 3 times, she'll appear, okay? If you say the Beckosphere 3 times, she'll appear like that. Poof. That's the key, okay? No, I'm sorry. Wait, it's not 3 it's not 3 times. You have to play 3 videos, okay? And on the 3rd video, she pops up. That's how it is. That's how it works. How's it going? I hope you're doing all right. Thank you for keeping up keep doing the awesome content that you do. You too, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think we have one more article. Let me see. Okay. I could have sworn I had this already queued up, but I guess not. The Biden administration is talking daily about student loan forgiveness and expects a decision in the next week or so. It sounds to me like they're going to do 2 things. It sounds to me like they're going to extend they're going to push back the date again, or they're going to start doing some type of forgiveness, whether it be the measly 10,000 or whatever. We'll take whatever it is that they do, but it looks like they're poised to make a decision because they already told the loan people that you can't reach out until this decision is done or something like that, until the until the past August 31st date. So it looks like they're really getting poised to do something. We'll see what that something is. whether it's a big something or a little something, in my opinion, it's most likely going to be the 10K off the top, and that's it. Oh, maybe it was this article, Alio. Maybe it was this article that I had and I closed. I just saw this and I thought it was interesting. With less than 2 weeks ago before moratorium on student loan repayment, interest and collection is set to expire, the U.S. Secretary Miguel Cardona said on Sunday that Americans can expect the decision from the administration within the next week or so. Which, like, if it's possible that they can do something, that begs the question, like, where have you all been? It beat the cost of living. Yeah, yeah, it did. But we'll see what happens. This means nothing until the decision is made, but I just found this interesting. Americans see threat to democracy as number one issue, I wonder why, and support for Trump probes. The growing threat to democracy is almost as important, is the most important issue facing the country, according to a new poll that's also found strong support for the continuing investigations into the actions of former President Trump. Yes, I think this is exactly what you're saying. The threat to democracy is more important than the cost of living. Yeah, because it means all fuck all if you live in if you live in an authoritarian state. I found a video that we'll put into the Discord to watch. It's almost an 18-minute video about invisible chemicals. Yes, please post it in the Discord, and we'll take a look at this.
Senator John Ossoff just delivered a major win, passing the Inflation Reduction Act.
He didn't do it by himself. Relax.
We're waterborne people. We depend on it.
This fishing spot is ancient. The Mohawk, the Ganyakahaga, were fishing here thousands of years before the first European...
That's so sad. I'm gonna get triggered if I watch this right now. We're gonna have to cover this tomorrow. If you post it on the Discord, that would be great. Because I have to finish this article, and it's already past 8 o'clock. Okay. An NBC poll conducted earlier this month and released Sunday found that 57% of respondents agreed that investigations into potential wrongdoing by Trump should carry on. Yeah, that included 92% of Democrats and 61% of independents, which is exactly, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Half of those polled said that Trump was solely or mainly responsible for the January 6th insurrection. Solely? No, but definitely a huge factor. A 5 percentage point gain since a similar poll in May before the House Select Committee began its series of public hearings. That is a good thing. So these hearings have had an effect. Meanwhile, threats to democracy rose to number one issue facing America, topping the cost of living. In a similar poll, man, it's so ironic that like the Republicans are like literally trying to like hammer down the point. Yeah, but that's irrelevant. That's not a point. That's irrelevant. What I care about is like the percentage of how that will move, and how that will mobilize, particularly independents. That's what I care about. Particularly independents, because that uncertain group makes or breaks elections. That percentage group, the independents, meaning no party affiliation, not registered, those make or break elections. Topping cost of living, in a similar poll in May, 3 months ago, cost of living was the number one concern, while threats to democracy didn't even make the list. Yeah, I mean, like, clearly the actions, of what's been going on, definitely warrant that cause of concern. It's crazy how both Democrats and Republicans believe that democracy is a threat and think the other party's causing it. That's true. I think that's true. And the issue here is that, well, one party says that, but actually means the opposite, right? Like, the Republicans can talk about all the stuff that the Dems do, often using half-truths and manipulation. But the reality is, like, the Republican Party essentially is completely and utterly incompatible with democracy, and they're moving full steam ahead to do everything they can to subvert it. But the gap between Dems and Republicans who feel mobilized is closing. Ugh. Respondents were split on whether things will get better or worse in the next 5 years, with 36% saying get better and 34% saying it will get worse, but 58% said America's best years are behind it. Jesus. Most, 68%, believe that the U.S. is in a recession, down from 76% in May. Biden's approval ticked up slightly to 42%, but 48% say they will have somewhat or very negative feelings about the president. The poll also found growing dissatisfaction with the FBI following the recent raid of Trump's. Damn, that's wild. Mar-a-Lago home, with 34% have either very little confidence or none at all in the agency, compared to 26% who said that in 2019. Still, about 39% expressed a great deal or quite a bit of confidence in the FBI, on par with polls dating back to 2014. Confidence in the Supreme Court has tumbled since Roe v. Wade is overturned. That's earned. Okay, that makes sense. Though, with 37% of respondents having little to no confidence in the court, compared to 17% who said that in December of 2019. The poll interviewed about 1,000 voters between August 12 and 16 and had a margin of error of about 3 percentage points. Interesting. %. Yeah, Republicans are with propaganda enough for 3. Enough for 3? I'm not sure what that means. Do you think Liz will run? No. I don't think so. I think the most likely outcome, I hope she doesn't. I really hope she doesn't. The most likely outcome, it's like people are out there like making her some type of hero, but she's not. The worst possible outcome is that she does run, but I understand that the most likely outcome, I should say, is that she starts campaigning for certain Democrats, or she does like a Lincoln Project kind of deal, right? That's what's more likely, in my opinion. That Liz does some kind of Lincoln Project thing. That's it. How that will affect the electoral side of things, I have no idea. It could have null effect, or it could backfire. It could backfire. I have no idea. More than enough for propaganda, yeah. Liz Cheney says new political group will target Trump allies. Yeah, look, right here. Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna do some kind of Lincoln Project kind of deal. Yeah, she's gonna do some kind of Lincoln Project here. I don't know what the effects will be, nor could I quantify like the effects of the Lincoln Project or whatnot, but that's what she's going to end up doing. No, I don't think she's going to join the Forward Party. No, the Forward Party is not going anywhere. Funny enough. The irony. Oh man, the Forward Party not going very forward. Yeah, no, she's not going to happen. What's most likely possible is that she's going to start some Lincoln Project thing. I don't know what that's going to end up tossing into the fray, or whether or not that makes an effect. But if it helps, The sideways party. There you go. If it helps, stop, or if it creates a negative impact on the Republican Party, then sure. But I'm just not sure what that'll be. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, just to be clear, like, Liz Cheney, like, is very much in line with, like, Republican stuff, and she voted like 90%, over 90% within Trump's agenda. So, like, I don't know if she wants to do that, and that's fine. The more chaos there is within the Republican Party, I think that's a good thing. They need to lose. My TLDR is they need to lose, and they need to lose bigly, to use a certain person's term. Whatever that means, I'm for it. They need to lose, and they need to lose bigly. All right, folks. Trump is taking too much money from other Republican candidates? No idea. That might be a good thing. They're not going to move. If they wanted, they would have already. Wait, who? The Forward Party? Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. I'm sorry, bipedal meat. I'm sorry, bipedal meat bag. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. Sorry, it just took me a second. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, folks. Unfortunately, it is past 8 p.m., so I do got to get going. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. I really appreciate that. Spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us on Sunday around noon Eastern Time for Sunday Fun Day. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on the YouTubes. Join the Discord if you want to keep up with the channel. And if you want to check out this month's sponsor, ! HelloFresh. I appreciate that. Take care and have fun. Thank you, Abond. I appreciate that. Thank you so much to Idan Simpson for the raid. Thank you, Alio, for the biddies. Thank you, BPZE, for the follows. Michael Hassler for the follow. I appreciate that. Leftist for the offline follow. Just Freaking for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Glad I caught the stream. Glad you stopped by. I appreciate that. So really quickly, we're going to do a couple of shout outs. Please go check out twitch.tv/thebeckasphere, twitch.tv/iDanSimpson, fantastic, and twitch.tv/AlioShare. If you see a little diamond next to some folks, please go check them out, all right? All right, folks, we got to get going. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow. See ya! Alright, folks, hang tight. Alright, folks, we're going to Hill the Beast, hardest working mod on Twitch. Show some love. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.